Okay, so this is the second time I'm going to work on this picture of this painting of Writesville Dam, and I've just sprayed it really heavy so it's all really dark. So I'm going to come back and start with the sky and lighten that up first. Thank goodness that fell somewhere I could reach it. And it's a good plan to work on the sky and the water at the same time when you're doing reflections like this. Wow, that was my favorite blue, and that's about the end of that. I am really going to try this time not to use so many different colors and have to come back over things so many different times. Yeah, all right, so far that didn't go so well because that was way too pink. So. Oh, and look, I already forgot exactly what I said about try to work on the sky and the water at the same time. Although, you know, there's the reflection in the sky is bigger than the reflection of the sky is bigger than the sky. So there's some stuff up in here, down here, that's not really in the sky. You can see because it's reflecting more the sky up above. All right, see, okay, so I made a mistake and I put that pink in. Or whatever, a mistake, but I kind of like it. And now I just need something lighter again. The thing is, it takes me a lot of tries because I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what's going to work. And I didn't like that stroke either. But. So that's the deal. When you don't know what you're doing, it just takes a few tries. So what is this now? I've used about 6 colors in my water and my sky. And I am going to come back over it again because I don't like the way that. And I do have my hat on. I hope I can keep it out of the picture. I've got a lot of lights on. I keep thinking if I have enough lights on, maybe you'll be able to see better, but when I look at my real picture and like right here and I look at the image on the screen, you know, it's kind of nothing like that. So yeah, just doing our best here. But anyway, I have a lot of lights on, so I'm wearing my hat to keep the light out of my eyes because I can't really see otherwise. And now I'm gonna work straight down from the top. It's not really what I meant to. It's not really what I hoped it was. So yeah, between the things not being what you hope they are, the pastel you pick up not being really what you thought, and then getting the wrong pastel entirely, or just getting a piece of the puzzle kind of figured out. That, I mean, that's actually what it is. It's each thing you put in, you're getting a little piece of the puzzle figured out. Yeah, I had these little trees before. I don't know. I admired some of y'all's work where you, Morgan, I think she had every tree and it was just exactly in the right spot, and then her reflections were in the right spot too. So I'm going to try to make an effort to pay attention here to what I'm doing. Oh, right, you can't see these guys. You know what? We talked about that, didn't we, last week in class? Like, could you see the reflections of these trees because they're so far back? And the answer is, in fact, no, you can't. So... somebody in the class I'm teaching on Saturdays, she has a really old set of pastels, like she's had them in her attic for 20 years, and they definitely have oxidized in the part where they weren't, like the part that sticks out from the paper was definitely harder. So if that happens, you could just maybe hear over here, I was doing that on the side of my board. So that's something you can do, is kind of maybe even use a little lightweight piece of sandpaper and take some of that oxidation off. It'll happen. They don't have to be 20 years old even for that to happen. That can happen just while they're sitting in your car. It seems like the part that's not wrapped in paper. This, I really just should have broken this piece. I probably did break it, and the thing is, I don't know where that piece, that broken piece is, but... And what even kind of pastel is this? I don't think that's a Rembrandt. I think this is maybe something entirely different from some like other Lifetime. I didn't actually mean to get so much texture in the trees down here in the water. So I started this with a mass. I didn't break it up very much at all in the beginning. And then the good thing about, of course, the fixative is it comes back and it remasses it for you so that you don't, that's kind of a good thing. It's a really good thing, actually. I mean, I've talked about it before, but when you spray, it kind of knocks it all back down together again and gives you a chance to start over and make things better. Without you having to psychologically force yourself to go to remask. Well, that one's gone. The spraying remasses it for you. So, but now, hopefully, I'm gonna start taking it apart and adding more variations in color and breaking up the mass. And if it just gets away from me, which I'm trying to like not feel like it already did, if it gets away from me, then I'll either have to remass it myself or spray it, which will mass it for me. So as I've said this many times too, if you don't get the mass, you get the mess, and then once you have the mass, you got to work to not get the mess. So adding things in without breaking things up too much so that they jump out of the place where they belong. I feel like I didn't get that sprayed very well right in there. And also, I just am having a lot of anxiety lately that I'm just changing things. I'm just changing things, but I'm not necessarily making them better. So that's something that's been troubling me. And I do think thinking too much about what you're doing when you're painting, maybe, and I'm having to think quite a lot because I'm talking and trying to explain what I'm doing. I'm just wondering if that's... Anyway, I feel like I'm doing better when I'm not in public, so maybe that's just to be expected. I have to be sure that I am doing enough painting besides just these demonstrations, which has been a little hard lately to get anything, have time to do anything else. All right, well, I sort of like that better. And maybe I'll just leave that for now and see then what happens as I come further down the picture with what's going to happen with trying to make the foreground come forward. I don't want to get too carried away back there. Oh, it was so great to be in Vermont this weekend and see how beautiful it was. This made me so happy. Yeah, you know, I didn't redraw it all this time. I just decided I wasn't going to. It's like enough already. And then I was thinking about something, and like, you know, maybe it's okay just to leave stuff not perfect. I mean, maybe like drawing and stuff, I mean, I try my hardest. Definitely want to get it as good as I can. But at some point, maybe you just have to say, you know, like, all right, enough already. Oops, I've got still got the picture with the kayak in it. I actually did take the kayak out of the picture, but there it is. So when you do something like that, you decide, okay, I'm going to leave the kayak out. You got to remember also to leave the kayak reflection out. That's just part of what makes it harder, you know, to do things, to make stuff up. Is just that you have to remember that you've got to leave out all these other things too. Yeah, these little rocks and stuff. I kind of hate rocks. An important thing to remember is that water seeks its own level, so the bottoms of things have to be straight where they meet the water. They can't be at an angle. And definitely, because it's there is not a good enough reason to put something in your painting just because it's there. And like these rocks, yeah, they're really bright, but you know, I do not want them to be like the focal point of the painting. So, you know, if I decide I'm going to knock them down more and not have them be so bright, then I just am. Oh, no, not you. Where did you go? Yep, another day where Janine has not made a plan for how to separate the pastel she's using in her painting from the pastels in her box. Because I cannot think to make this plan except when I'm actually sitting right here painting, and then I don't want to make the plan right now. But it's really bugging me painting outdoors and having my pastels just like all over the place, and just thrown every color I pick up, just thrown down in my box somewhere, because, you know, I'm just sort of like not thinking about the next thing. I'm only thinking, or whatever, I'm in the moment. But that kind of leads to trouble later when, geez, you wish you knew where that specific color was. So because it's there, it's not a good reason, enough reason to put something in, and maybe it's not a good enough reason to leave something out either. You have to, holy cow, yeah, you just, you know what, you just gotta look at really good paintings. You gotta keep looking at paintings by really good people all the time, and it's been so great. I've only been 3 times, I guess, to the RISD Art Museum. But just to go in there and look around and actually see things in person. And they have a really nice collection, a small, nice collection. I'm really looking forward to getting back to the Boston Museum. So, yeah, I can't recommend that enough. Or just looking on the internet. And you always want to look at the very best painters. Don't waste your time on the not best painters. And the way you really tell what painters are the best painters are the painters that have stood the test of time. And there's lots of painters that could, you could benefit from, maybe you would gather one thing or another from them. And then there's some painters that just require a lifetime of study, because they were the guys and the gals, but mostly, obviously because of the way the world is, they were mostly the guys. Yeah, and so like you're asking who are those people? And I can tell you what different teachers of mine have said, and even teachers that painted in really different styles. Mentioning those same guys. So Titian, incredible painter for composition, Renaissance painter. And you talk about, like, oh, well, but his work is so realistic or something. It's not abstract, but the abstract qualities that underpin the painting are just amazing. And when you think about a guy like that could paint so many people in a scene, and have such an intricate and complex composition with them. The way everything is moving in the painting and stuff, like, definitely somebody to look at. Velasquez, beautiful paint strokes, beautiful composition. And then Cezanne. And for pastelists, I mean, it's Degas and Cassatt, those are the ones. And, golly, that Degas, both of them, Mary Cassatt and Edgar Degas, just incredible artists. And you could never see their work enough. And a lot of the things, because the museums have to keep the paintings the pastels in such dark rooms, you really can see a lot in reproduction. I mean, there's nothing like seeing real paintings, but there is a lot you can get from Degas. And especially, I would say with Degas, and maybe with everybody, but Degas, I guess, is maybe an artist I know well enough to know kind of the chronology of his work. So you want to, that is so important. Was it an early painting or a late painting? And how much his work changed over the course of his lifetime, and he did have vision problems. So but I don't know, sometimes you see the Degas and you think, oh yeah, he had vision problems, but then you think, well, that was not really such a bad thing. Because I guess the thing is, over the life of an artist, maybe you want to hone down or pare down all the extraneous stuff so that I just cannot get the dark enough thing there. I was going to use gray. Yeah, so you, over an artist's lifetime, I'm just making it all dark, I decided just then. They keep eliminating the stuff that's unnecessary. And maybe, my eyes are kind of bugging me, maybe having your eyesight get a little funky, you know, helps you with that. So if you look at Rembrandt and you look at his early work and you say, wow, this guy is amazing. Look at the way he painted that lace. It's just incredible. But then in his later work, you know, he just suggests it in this even more beautiful and amazing way. So the rocks, you know, I mean, whichever rock you focus on, you're going to see the most variation in details and the hardest edge. But I want the rock in front to be the rock in front, not the rock behind. I don't want them to be competitive with each other. I want this one to come forward. So I'm just going to make it have a little brighter color. Sorry, oh, there's that hat. Having a little trouble controlling it. I have my arms so far out. Yeah, no, I don't like that, so I'm going to come back and... But this place where the water meets the rock, that has to be flat. It has to be a straight line. It can't curve. It just can't. That's why people couldn't tell the earth was flat, or it wasn't flat. Because water seeks its own level. All right, so in here, something's gotta... Oh, I kind of have ignored the water completely down here. Wow, 23 minutes, okay. All right, so definitely want to keep the water a little more together. Then I broke up the land more, but I'm going to keep the water more together. I just never have really used these vertical strokes in the water until just lately, and I just kind of like them. I'm always like, oh, make those strokes horizontal. You want your eye to go back in there, but then I also want it to stay back. So I want, you know, you want you to get all the way back into that. And right now I don't feel like you are. So what I'm going to try is just bringing the light down on top of that a little more, like that. I know I never know how to do this. For a long time, honestly, I did not paint, you know, stick season. I just stayed away from it because what the heck was I gonna do? About all those little sticks in the sky. So I guess the thing to do is try to put in some, and then come back and cover some up with leaves. I can't see what I'm doing, honestly. I think I'm just going to leave this one out over here. Okay, I think I'm going to see if I can just do a little more, okay, big lie of the water, you know, just add some ripples in. I do like the light in the water better. This light right here, but I feel like it was too centered and too, pull across and see what that was. And these guys, so repetitious, right? Right there in the middle, all that repetition. Oh, this rock. Yeah, it's just maybe too much pink in the sky too. All right, well, I feel that if I was to work on it more, I would have to spray it again. Kind of wishing I hadn't done that. There it is, nonetheless. Well, I wrote that one. Wow. Yeah, this is when you wish you'd stopped right when you said, okay, I don't think I can work on it anymore until I spray it. Oh my gosh, look at that. That could really use some more green, couldn't it? I just... And then try to add more movement back into it, but it's kind of... Yeah, I hope it looks better in real life than it does in this image. So, just a second, I'll take a picture of it. I sort of let my contrast, lost some of my contrast in here. Good, here's the cat. Oops. Sorry, I was watching the cat. Let's see what the cat would do. All right, I think I'll call it quits. Yeah,